Hi everyone! So I had one more Glamour Doll Eyes Insider look to do for the month, and my favorite looks to do is crazy over the top like mermaid alien eyes, but my second favorite look to do is classic pinup. So I was reading a magazine last night and I was inspired to do a pinup with a twist on it. So instead of having a classic matte or a matte with just a little bit of shimmer eye and a cream lip, I wanted to do a shiny, high shine, glossy looking eye with a matte lip. So that is what I did for today, and I am just going to go ahead and go through it with you guys using only 3 eyeshadows and 1 cream shadow. So it's a really basic, it's a simple look, it's not going to take you very long considering the type of look it is, which is a pinup look, which is usually a higher maintenance look. So here we go. I hope you like it. Let's get ready to roll. Okay, so I've already done one eye, and I have it the way that I want it to be. So I'm gonna begin with the other eye and just show you step by step how I did this very basic 40s, 50s pinup eye makeup with a little twist. So first I'm gonna start by priming my entire eye, and I'm gonna use the Meow Cosmetics eye prime, which is just one of those sticky primers that comes in a pot. I'm just going to use my finger to apply it and blend it out. And then next I am going to reach for Vanilla Unicorn from Glamour Doll Eyes, and it is a sheer white cream shadow, but it has a little bit of like rainbow iridescence to it, which is good because remember the concept we're going for is like a wet or a luminous shiny eye look and a very matte lip. So I'm going to apply that all over from lash to brow. And then next I'm going to go in with my pigment in Ancestry. And again, this is another white pigment, and it has I guess it has a golden like sheen to it, duochrome to it. You'll see it better when I put it on my eye. And so the effect I'm trying to create is a very sparkling, luminous, wet effect without it actually being a glossy, wet product, because I want it to be wearable. So I'm going to put that all over my lid. I'm using a short, bristled, flat shader brush, so it looks like this. And put a generous amount of that on because I want my entire lid covered. And yeah, we can always go back in and add a little bit more after we get the crease and outer V color placed. And then next I'm going to just go in and gently define the crease, and I'm using a Glamour Doll Eyes shadow in Barenaked, and it's kind of a warm sort of caramel shade, and it has a little bit of it has a satin finish, so it's not super duper matte. And I'm just going to go in and gently, actually it's a little shimmery, it's a little bit yeah, it's a little more shimmery than satin. And I'm just going to apply that right above my eyelid crease, and I'm going to apply it all the way across. Just keep it close to your skin tone, maybe within 2 shades of your skin tone. You could do maybe 3 shades up if you have a more sheer shadow. But remember, this eye look isn't supposed to be super dramatic, it's just supposed to be more of a natural glamour look. So it is glamorous, but it's not super dramatic. Like, we're not going for a cut crease here. Everything should be blended out. And I'm using this brush I got at Michael's. It's called a Scrumbler number 8, and I just find that it works really, really well with loose pigments because it doesn't get them all over the place. Like, I love my Goss brushes for pressed shadows, but when I'm doing these loose pigments, I need something. I don't know what it is about these brushes. They're a little bit stiffer without being scratchy. And I just got them in the paintbrush section at the craft store. Alright, we have our crease color in place. And then I'm gonna go in with the outer V shade, and again I'm using the shade called Obscure, which I really love. It's kind of, I don't know, it's like a really neutral, it's like a taupe, but I feel like it has a little bit of a plummy tone to it. And I'm just gonna get a little bit on an e.l.f. crease brush, and I'm gonna apply it to the outer corner here of my eye, so like the outer third, and that's a little bit too much, so I'm gonna wipe my brush off. And I'm just gonna blend it out. And make sure you're taking the time to blend, especially in this look, because with something as natural as this, it's all about the subtlety. So I've applied more on this side than I did on the other side, so I'm just gonna quickly go back in and even it out on the other side. It's fine, I'll just even it out. We have a little bit of a darker crease. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back in with Ancestry, which is the white pigment with the gold duochrome to it. And since I want this sort of high shine, sort of reflective, dramatic look, I am going to go in with Ancestry up right underneath the brow and just apply it right there on top of Vanilla Unicorn, and then I'm going to use a blending brush to blend that out so it's not too ridiculous. Okay, we have the top part of the eye done, and now we're gonna go underneath, and I'm just gonna use my Meow primer again. I'm gonna use my pinky and first wipe some of that mess off, and then I'm gonna just look up and apply my primer right there underneath the eyeball. Go in with a fluffy angle brush. So this isn't really, I wouldn't consider this an angle liner because it's too fluffy. I don't know how you would line anything with this. And just kind of add Ancestry to the inner corner. And since my eyes are closer set, I'm gonna bring it out quite a bit. Almost 2/3 of the way across. And then in the very last third, I'll go in with the darkest shade we used, which is Obscure. And I feel like I want a little more blending, so I'm just gonna just with sort of dabbing motion. You have to be careful when you're blending pigments, because if you swipe too much, you're just gonna make a big mess and everything will get muddy, or you'll just wipe it off your eye. Okay, so we have all of the eyeshadow done, and now I'm just gonna fill in my brow, and I debated whether or not to do this on the video, but since I have quite bushy brows anyway, it doesn't really take long. I'm just gonna comb them right straight up with a spoolie. And I'm gonna go in with this short handle because I'm nearsighted Bdellium Tools angle liner brush, and I'm just going to go in with my, I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow in Auburn. And I'm just going to fill in the entire brow area, except for the front. I'm gonna keep that free from the dip brow. I'm gonna go in and put some powder up in the front there, but I want it to look more on the bushier side. Filling that in completely, because the pinup look does have more of a dramatic brow to it. And I don't use my dip brow every day, but when I do, I always get lots of compliments on my brows, so I know that it does a really nice job of defining the brows. And then I'm gonna go in with my brow powder, also in Auburn. Reach. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the lighter shade because my hair is a little bit lighter right now and I don't want it to look too dark. And I'm just gonna go straight over where I applied the dip brow and turn the brush around, and then just go right in the front and kind of fluff it up, just because that's what I want it to look very natural in the front, and that's just what my eyebrows do. They just fluff the freak up. They just freak out up there. Then go over the tail. And I want to do something really filthy right now. I want to lick my brush, but I am not. I brought a spray bottle over just for you. So I'm going to just spray, wet the brush a little bit. And I'm going to make a habit of doing this every time because you definitely can't lick your brush when you're working on clients. All right, go right into the tail there and make sure your tail is nice and pointy. And I just extend it just a little bit, just a little tiny bit past my natural brow. All right, they're about that. I need a little more powder in this one to make them about even. Okay. Okay, and next we are going to go in with our cream liner. And again, I'm using a brush I just got at Michael's, and I'm going to flip my mirror around because I am nearsighted as a bat, and I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So, just flipping the mirror around, and I'm going to make a teeny tiny little baby wing right on the outside here. I'm just gonna start on the bottom lash line. And can you see that? And just sketch it out. Make sure it's even. Normally I like a more dramatic wing, but for this look I wanted to keep the wing a little bit on the simpler side. I like this brush because it's nice and flexible. Because I hate using a stiff brush and really trying to get detailed, and it just won't go where you want it to go. But these flexible brushes are a little bit harder to control than a stiff brush. So if you're not used to it, you might need to practice. And I much prefer these little pointy style liner brushes over an angled liner brush when I'm doing my eyeliner. Gel liner, I just can't do those angle liner brushes. I don't know how people use them for everything. Okay, and I wanted to mention that the liner I'm using is actually an e.l.f. liner, and it is like a $3 cream liner. And I will probably never use another cream liner unless one really knocks my socks off, because for the price and for what this is, it's freaking amazing. I just don't think I would ever want to spend like $30 on a cream eyeliner. Now I'm going to add lashes, and I'm just going to add some Ardell lashes because I wanted to keep the eyes a little bit understated. I'm not going to add anything crazy and dramatic, so I'm just going to add like some winged out lashes that I cut in half. So I'm just going to add like a half of a winged out lash here. And I'm going to apply glue to my lash by getting it on a bobby pin like this. And then I'm just going to apply it all from beginning to end. And then we have to let this dry. So while I'm holding this lash here in my hand, I'm going to form the shape for it, and we're letting it dry. I am just going to slap on my foundation. Why not? So I'm going to use my Makeup Forever foundation in number 125, which is a little bit darker, but I have a fake tan on right now. So go ahead and take my water bottle and just get a little bit of a mist on my face. I'm going with this foundation brush. I'm not going to do anything too amazing with foundation today, but I will highlight and contour. Finished putting on my foundation, and I meant to use my beauty blender, but I didn't bring it over. So now I have used the brush here. I'm And I'll go ahead and grab another brush to kind of just finish stippling that out. Now I'm just going to pop that on, so let me see if I can pop that on right there. And I am going to grab my tweezers, hold on, and just make sure the corners are placed down where I want them to be. Now, you know how we're always learning new stuff, like every day? Well, I didn't realize until recently, like a few weeks ago, that I'm supposed to glue my eyelashes to my eyelashes and not to my eyelid. So I always wondered why when I wore eyelashes it was so uncomfortable and looked crazy and made my eyes feel like they were gonna fall off, and it's because I was gluing them to my freaking eyelids. So now that I know, and now that I have them placed correctly, they look so much better and they're so much more comfortable. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do my little contour and highlight real quick while my foundation still isn't fully set. I'm just going to go in with the Sedona Lace contour brush I really like, number FB5, I guess. And I'm going to take this NYX, my favorite contour powder right now is just the NYX Bronzer in Deep Tan. And just start on the top of the cheekbone and pull it down right under the cheekbone. And I started out here because I have kind of a wider face, like a wider set cheek, so I want my contour to be a little bit more out here and pull my cheeks in a little. I'm just going to layer that until I get the depth that I want. And now come on the other side, and again start right up on the top of that cheekbone and take it down. And if you have trouble finding your cheekbones, you can just suck in your cheeks. Let me see that thing that sticks out? That's your cheekbone. Go right under that. Now, depending on your face, you might want to go a little bit higher or lower with your cheekbone contour. Probably higher. I don't know anyone who wants lower cheek. I don't know. Maybe. But that's just, I don't know. I haven't heard of anyone wanting lower cheekbones, so you let me know. Alright, I'm happy with that. And I'm not going to contour my whole face, I'm just going to contour the cheeks right now. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with a very subtle highlight powder, which is, this is actually a gold Shiseido powder. I'm going to go right on top. And see how it just brightens it. You could use any kind of yellow or gold powder, granted that you have gold undertones. Okay, and then I'm going to go right in the center there, right along the top of the eyebrow. Okay, now for the actual blush, I'm using this Milani in Delizioso Pink. And I'm just going to take a blush brush here. I'm using an e.l.f. one. I mean, this isn't my favorite blush brush, but it's what's right here, so I'm just going to use it. And for pinup makeup, you always want to have really fresh looking cheeks. So I would say almost always you need blush for this. And I kind of like a heavy-handed blush, so I'm just going to leave that to where you can actually see the pink. And then my favorite highlight, my favorite part of the highlight is I'm going to use this. And so we are almost done. We just have to add mascara and the lips, and then we will be finished. So I'm using this sample size Makeup Forever mascara because I just have it. Okay, for the lips, I want to have a really, really matte lip to kind of bring that contrast of the shiny, luminous eyes and cheeks and then having a matte lip. So I'm going to use NYX Soft Matte Cream in Amsterdam. And I'm going to use Plush Red by NYX also. Just going to line it. just with the liner. And you could overline anywhere you want to. I'm just gonna keep it with the lip line today to simplify things, because I want a very, very matte lip with this. And this has absolutely no shine to it, and it doesn't dry your lips out either. I don't know what it's made out of, magic maybe. To add a little bit of dimension, I'm just going to go in with a darker lip liner, and so I'm going to go in with NYX Cabaret, just on the corners and the top of the Cupid's bow. And back in with a little bit of the soft matte cream. Alright, and we are done. This is the finished look. So it is a luminous eye pinup look with the matte red lip. If you wanted a more authentic look, you could do the same sort of steps with a matte eye, fully matte eye, and a cream lip, or a traditional satin or creamy lipstick finish. But I wanted to do these glowing eyes just because I like that. I just like that look. It's just, I like it. And also you could do your hair correctly, because I attempted, but I am not a hairstylist, and I can't. But you get the idea. This is the idea of having the pinup hair done. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope you enjoyed getting to introduce to some of these products, and I will see you